I'm gonna try to stick to books that I actually have and not do like a sticky cover. Sticky, it's not sticky, it's like a... Anyway, the book I will be retelling through covers is The Devil in the White City, a book that I read last year for Booktube-A-Thon. Once upon a time, America, how many stories could you do with that intro, was jealous of France because they had an Eiffel Tower, and two men were selected to make a fair, which later included the first Ferris wheel. And they also made a lot of fancy buildings. There's a building there, and it's falling because in Chicago the ground has this thing which makes it hard for buildings to not fall down. Then there was this whole long explanation about the ground and basements, and then there was the architect who fixed that, and that was great, and he was one of the ones who did the fair thing, but he died. But it's okay because the more important one was there, and he was good because he could talk to people. This story takes place after the Great Chicago Fire, during the late 19th century. See, because it's a ship. People said this fair was magical, and there were people and things from all over the world, including Arabian dancers. On a completely unrelated note, there was also a boy named H.H. Holmes, except that wasn't his real name. He later on changed it, because it's the boy who lived. The boy who later grew up into a man, because now he's older. Be a man, you must be swift as... And he formed romantic relationships with blonde females. It's light colored, but eventually they would disappear. He avoided paying people while building his apartment. An apartment is a place you live, and people live in houses. But the fair and the Holmes story were kind of completely unrelated, kind of like me holding up this book right now. Because while Holmes was in Chicago and did like house people who went to the fair, he was still pretty far away from the fair, and he didn't even go to the fair. They just happened at the same time. It's not the devil in the White City, it's the devil outside of the White City, not even like going near it. I have a lot of feelings about this. At some points there were a lot of storms going on, which made things complicated for the architects and the people working there, but mostly the architects. I found the architect stuff really boring, kind of like this book. Quite a while later, Holmes took a couple of children on a trip across the country. Everyone read newspapers about this detective going to find them, but in the end they were all dead. Sometimes I think I mix up the H.H. Holmes backstory and the Black Cat by Edgar Allan Poe story. And then the story ends on a boat hearing about the Titanic. The end. Because it's a book.